She's really sweet, she's as sweet as she can be. She's got eyes of baby blue, makes my gun shoot straight and true. Going on a Cripple Creek, going on a run, going on a Cripple Creek to have some fun. Going on a Cripple Creek, going on a whirl, going on a Cripple Creek to see my girl. Texture and balance, what is it all about? Well, first of all, I need to apologise. Sincere apology, because although this video lesson is about texture and balance, and I'm going to explain what that is in just a moment, this video is actually, secretly, a video lesson on how to sing and play with your banjo. Now, you and I both know, if I had titled this video lesson, How to Sing and Play with Your Banjo, there's a 99% chance you probably wouldn't have clicked on it. For the simple reason that I think most banjo players never intend to sing and play with their instruments, and also, everyone assumes that they can't sing, me included. So, first of all, yeah, I'm going to let you know right now that this is not, and I repeat, this is not a singing lesson, because I'm in no position to teach anybody how to sing at all. But in this lesson, we are going to learn two new concepts. The first concept that we're going to learn is something that's pretty simple. It's called dynamics. And all dynamics is, it's a very posh way of saying volume. So I can speak quietly, or I can speak loudly. I can play my banjo quietly, or I can play it loud. That's all dynamics is. It's having the ability to control the volume of your banjo. And the second concept we're going to look at is something a little bit more complicated, but it's not something completely out of our grasp to understand. And it is balance. And you can also call it texture, balance or texture. That's why I've called this video lesson Texture and Balance. So there you go. So all that, all that balance and texture is, it's just choosing what you want in the foreground and what you want in the background of a banjo song when you play it. So the elements of a banjo song, I discussed that in the clawhammer cake video, and it's just the basic ingredients again. It's just the rhythm, the harmony, the lyrics and the melody, and being able to control the balance and control the texture gives us the ability to decide what we want to bring forwards and what we want to send to the backward. To explain this, I'll put a table on the screen now, and on the table you can see on the bottom we've got the ingredients or the elements, and on the left you've got volume. So you could say on the left that's dynamics, but we've just put volume just to keep it fairly straightforward. And we'll put the elements on the chart. So the first element is the rhythm, and then you've got the harmony, and then we'll include the lyrics and the melody. So if we go back to the song that I played at the start of this video lesson, Cripple Creek, you might not have noticed, or you might have noticed, but I actually played two versions of the same song. I played a melodic version, which didn't have any singing in it. It sounded like this. No lyrics, so there's no singing, but there's loads of melody. You had the harmony with the chord changes, and the rhythm was the basic Fraley strum. And the second version of the tune was when I included the lyrics. But if you listen back to how I played the second version when I was singing, I actually didn't play the song the same on the banjo. In fact, I took it back a step. I actually laid off the banjo and I reduced the volume. I changed the dynamics of how I was playing. So when I started singing, it sounded like this. I know a girl and she is sweet, she's as sweet as she can be. She's got eyes of baby blue, makes my gun shoot straight and true. Going on a Cripple Creek, going on a run, going on a Cripple Creek to have some fun. Going on a Cripple Creek, going on a whirl, going on a Cripple Creek to see my girl. And you'll see I was just frailing away and I was singing. I didn't need to shout, I could just literally speak the words. And the reason for that is I toned down the volume of my banjo to accentuate my voice. So there's not a shouting match then between me and the banjo. And that is essentially dynamics in action. So if we go back to the chart on the screen there, you'll see that all the elements of a banjo song up until this point are equal. So we've not really focused on changing anything volume-wise. We've just been trying to get through the first stages of learning how to play. And everything's been at the same level, you know. The lyrics, if you've chose to sing, are usually the same volume as your banjo, and you just try to hit the melody notes in a frantic dash to try and just get the song out without fluffing it. And the rhythm is what it is, and the chord changes are the best you can do it. But now we're at this stage, now we're on the Trailblazer module, we can actually start looking at changing things a little bit, adding a bit more dynamics, and making our songs sound a little bit more interesting. And as well as that, if you do choose to sing and play, it can you can accompany your voice, so you're not constantly shouting over your banjo. So we'll reintroduce that chart on the screen, and like I said, everything at the moment is level. If I change the chart, so when we play only, when we play and don't sing, we ditch the lyrics completely. So we'll take the lyrics off and we only focus on the rhythm, the harmony and the melody, and that's the first version you heard of the song. You hear how prominent the melody is. The melody really jumps forward, so we actually focus most on the melody to increase that volume to really get the song out. And then let's go back. So the other version of the song was when I was singing, so when I reintroduced the lyrics. Now when you do choose to play and sing, you can play it as we've learnt it, so everything just flat leveled at the same volume. But you might tend to find that the banjo is such a loud instrument, it does drown your voice out and you can't hear yourself speaking above the banjo. And anyone who's listening to you also probably couldn't hear you. I mean, they might be able to, but you want to really accentuate your voice so the person listening can hear the story. So what we do instead, in fact, something interesting happens when we start to add the lyrics into the song. Because when we sing, the syllables in the lyrics become the melody. And something else happens as well. The specific melody notes that we'd normally hit on the banjo, like that melody and that sound, da, 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 the specific melody notes are no longer needed, and our vocal range become the melody. So what you find is lyrics and the melody homogenize together into one lump. And because the balance changes and we want people to hear the story of the song that we're singing, the rhythm and the harmony take a back seat and we play quietly or a little bit quieter just to support the voice. And this is using dynamics. So we're using dynamics to change the texture and the balance. And by doing that, we create two versions of the same song. So leaving the graph on the screen, I'll slowly play through my two different versions of Cripple Creek, and you'll see how the graph changes with the two different versions of the same song. I know a girl is really sweet, she's as sweet as she can be. She's got eyes of baby blue, makes my girl shoot straight and true. Going out of Cripple Creek, going on a run, going out of Cripple Creek to have some fun. Going out of Cripple Creek, going in the world, going out of Cripple Creek to see my girl. So I hope that made sense, and I hope you can see the benefits of being able to control the volume and the balance of the song and deciding which elements of the song go into the foreground and which song elements go into the background. And it's not only about singing and playing as well, because if you ever play in a jam or in a circle, sometimes the different musicians might take it in turns to do a bit of soloing, and while somebody else is doing the soloing, you don't want to be hitting all the melody. You want to just be sat in the background just playing that, just keeping the rhythm and the harmony going, while somebody else is maybe on a guitar just soloing away, or somebody's on the fiddle or the violin doing their own little solo. You'll just be playing in the background, just giving it a bit of that, just supporting them, you know, a bit of they call it bit of backup banjo. And then it might come into your turn, and it's your turn to do a bit of soloing. And then once you've finished, you go back into the background. So you don't even have to worry about striking those specific melody notes. When you're playing backup, or if you're just like supporting your voice and you're toning everything down, you're reducing that melody, and your voice and your vocals and your lyrics and the syllables are carrying the melody and that nice tune, you don't have to do much. You just, and it doesn't even matter what string you string. You know, I can sing Cripple Creek just alternating between strings 3 and 4. I know a girl is really sweet, she's as sweet as she can be. She's got eyes of baby blue, makes my gun shoot straight and true. Going down a Cripple Creek, going on a run, going down a Cripple Creek to have some fun. Going down a Cripple Creek, going down the world, going down a Cripple Creek, see my girl. So I'll have a little play around with that, a little bit of experimentation. Just try and control the volume of the melody and the rhythm and the harmony. And it'll set yourself up nicely. If you do plan to sing and play, now you know how. And if you want a singing lesson, you've come to the wrong place. See you on the next video.